In a small town, there was a school where students were used to the usual routine. Morning classes, lunch, and then more classes. But one day, things took a hilarious turn when a curious cat decided to enroll itself in the daily schedule. This cat, a mischievous orange tabby named Whiskers, belonged to Miss Hazel, the art teacher. He often followed her to school, but today, instead of lounging in the teacher's lounge like usual, Whiskers darted down the hallway, weaving between students' feet, and made his way into Mrs. Jensen's math class. Mrs. Jensen was known for being strict, and the students were always on their best behavior during her lessons. But as she scribbled fractions on the board, a soft meow echoed through the room. The students giggled, but Mrs. Jensen, without turning around, silenced them with a quick shoo. Then, out of nowhere, Whiskers leaped onto her desk, knocking over a stack of homework papers. Mrs. Jensen spun around, her eyes widening in surprise. Whiskers sat there, nonchalantly licking his paw, as if he had always been part of the class. The students erupted into laughter. One brave kid, Timmy, raised his hand and said, "Mrs. Jensen, I think Whiskers wants to learn fractions too." The stern teacher tried to keep a straight face, but even she couldn't resist a chuckle. "Well," she said, "I suppose if Whiskers can solve this problem on the board, I'll let him stay." The students, still giggling, watched in amusement as Whiskers wandered over to the whiteboard, his tail swishing. Of course, he had no interest in solving math problems. Instead, he pawed at the marker, knocking it to the floor. Then, as if to prove he was more interested in fun than math, Whiskers jumped onto Mrs. Jensen's shoulder and began batting at her bun of hair. From that day on, Whiskers became the unofficial school mascot. He would sneak into different classes, always causing a bit of chaos and a lot of laughter. And although the teachers pretended to be annoyed, everyone knew that the school was a little brighter with Whiskers around.